Hello, my name is Tracy Allen and I want to welcome you to Cooking with Some Friends. Hello and welcome to Cooking with Some Friends. I'm going to show you a really quick rum cake ball recipe, and you're going to start with a cake mix. You're going to add some sour cream, 4 eggs, vanilla, milk, some espresso powder, and then some melted butter instead of the ingredients it calls for on the cake mix. Bake it as the recipe tells you to, and then we'll show you what to do. So we baked our cake and then we let it set overnight, and now I'm going to break it up really well, and then I'm going to add to this a half a can of sweetened condensed milk and 1/2 cup of dark rum. I'll mix that together, and then we're going to refrigerate this for an hour before we form it into our rum balls. Mix that all together. Okay, let's finish up our cake rum balls. We're going to take the refrigerated mixture that we have, form it into balls, and then we're going to roll it in some powdered sugar, and then we're going to put these in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours, and then we can freeze them. And they are yummy. We'll keep going until we've got the whole bowl done. And there's our cake rum balls. Good morning and welcome to Cooking with Some Friends. I shared a while back for one of our Christmas candies some bugle candy, and I want to share another one. Bugles are great because of the saltiness, and then you add some sweet to it. It's just wonderful. So I have 3 cups of bugles on my tray along with 3 cups of Crispix. To that I'm going to add about half a jar of dry roasted peanut. And then a package of Reese's Pieces, and you can use regular Reese's Pieces or the ones with the peanut butter cups. I'm going to mix all this together, and then I'm going to make a combination of a stick of butter, a half a cup of brown sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, a 1/4 cup of honey, and some soda, and I'll show you that when I microwave those items. So our honey and sugar mixture came to a boil in the microwave. So now I have that 1/2 tablespoon of soda that I'm going to stir in, and this will foam up, which is what we're looking for. And I'll pour this caramel over the top of this, put it in a 200-degree oven for an hour, but I'm going to stir it every 15 minutes. So I will come back and show you what this looks like once it's all baked and ready to go. So you can see our caramel sauce is nice and foamy. Go ahead and drizzle. Get this all stirred in and put it in the oven. It's Christmas cookie time and candy time and all those fun things. So I'm going to show you some chocolate mini cups that are great for Christmas or anytime. But I'm going to make them into mini cups in my muffin pan, but you can use regular muffin pans and muffin liners if you want to. So I have my crushed cookies, salted caramel chocolate chip. You can use graham crackers. You can use ginger cookies. They would be really good. But I have a cup and a half of those that I crushed, along with, I'm going to stir in a half of a stick of butter. It's soft. You want to fill your cups with your crumb mixture and then take a rounded handle and press those in really well. Then we're going to freeze these for 30 minutes. You want a well in the middle of it. So we have 3/4 cups of chocolate chips, and I have some hot cream that I'm going to pour into that. And I want to stir this together to make kind of a ganache. And then I'll add a 1.5 tablespoons of butter. Then this will be ready to pour into our frozen cookie cups that we have in the freezer. You want to let these set in the refrigerator for an hour before you serve. Keep stirring until it thickens up. Hello, welcome to Cooking with Some Friends. Our next candy for our 12 days of candy and appetizers for Christmas that we're going to share is some Velveeta fudge. So I have 2 sticks of butter in my saucepan, and to that I want to add 12 ounces of cubed Velveeta. Yes, I said Velveeta. It sounds rather strange, I know. And we're going to melt that down. In my big bowl, I've mixed about a 1/2 to 3/4 cup of cocoa. It depends on how chocolatey you really want it, with about 7.5 to 8 cups of powdered sugar. And the only other ingredient I have that I'm going to need is some vanilla. So I'm going to let this melt down, add my teaspoon of vanilla, and then pour and mix this into my powdered sugar mix. At that point, I'll put it in my parchment sprayed 8x8 and refrigerate that until it sets. And that'll take several hours. So let's melt this down and then we'll stir it in. Velveeta and butter are melted together. I'm going to add my vanilla and then pour it in. Now you can stir this with just a spatula, or you can use your electric mixer. I like to do a little bit of both. I'm going to stir with my spatula until I get some of that powdered sugar knocked down, and then I can use my electric mixer. Then get it poured in your pan and let it set. Hello everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Some Friends. I know we've had several videos lately all about candy making and those kinds of things, and this one's going to have some of that. But I also wanted to share a couple of ideas for foods that would be kind of nice gifts to get or give around the holidays. And this one is super simple, and you can do it last minute if you want to, but we're going to make some whipped honey. And in my bowl, I'm going to put a gallon of honey. Now, the nice thing about this is you can cut the recipe way down if you want to, but I have several people to give to. So I've already got one of my containers of honey in my bowl. I'm going to put the other one in, and then I'm going to put my whisk attachment on, and I'm going to beat this on high for 20 to 25 minutes. And then you'll see a difference in the texture and the color, all of that, and then I can put it in my jars. And the good thing about honey is it keeps forever. So this is one of those you don't have to process afterwards. You can just put it in the jar, put the seal on it, and you're done. So great gift idea, or just a good idea to have around on your Christmas table or to use for yourself. So I'm going to let that Go ahead and continue to drain until I get all the honey out of my container. Okay, I turned the mixer down and you can see the consistency, the color has changed. I'm ready to put it in the jars. So mine went for about 22 minutes. So you have to be patient with this one. And you can see it's nice and creamy. Has all that air in it. It's gonna be perfect. Great on rolls. You can even use it as a fruit dip. Okay. Let's get it jarred up. Hello, we're going to kind of continue this whole Christmas theme, but not quite. So I showed you how to make some whipped honey, but another thing I want to show you that would also be great as a canned personalized gift is to make some homemade pancake syrup. And we always have a big breakfast on Christmas morning with pancakes and eggs and bacon and those kinds of things. So it would be kind of nice to use your homemade. Plus, it doesn't have all those preservatives in it. So we're going to show you how to make homemade pancake syrup. And in our pan, I have 10 cups of brown sugar. To that, I'm going to add 10 cups of water. And then I want to bring this to a simmer. And we're going to simmer it for about 15 minutes. And in the meantime, we're heating up our hot water bath. Okay, so we've simmered for about 15 minutes. And if you want a thicker maple syrup, then simmer a little bit longer. At that point, we're going to turn off our heat and add it. Teaspoon of maple flavoring and a 1/4 teaspoon of butter flavoring, and then get this in our jars and put it in our water bath for 15 minutes. Okay, we'll go ahead and get it in our jars. So in making your maple syrup, your homemade maple syrup, I showed you that if you actually cooked it longer, it would thicken a little more. If that still isn't the consistency you like, you can always make a slurry of cornstarch and a little bit of water and add that to it. And I'm just thickening up a little bit of what I made yesterday. So all you have to do is heat your syrup up. And again, you can make smaller amounts, just the amount for your family to have for a breakfast by just using a couple cups of brown sugar and water. But I'm going to just slowly add this and let it cook until it reaches that consistency or that thickness that I want for my maple syrup. You just don't want to overdo the liquid content of your slurry because that will just thin it down some more. So we'll just keep adding that until it gets to the consistency that we really like. And again, if you like a thinner syrup, don't add the slurry. Just go ahead and cook it down to that point. If you want it thicker, go ahead and use the slurry. And it's not going to change the flavor any, it's just going to change the consistency. Thanks for joining us for this session of Cooking with Some Friends. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And find us on Facebook at Cooking with Some Friends.